Ewa Swoboda just became the fastest woman in Europe, and her own country is already trying to sideline her. For years, she was dangerous, competitive, someone to watch. Then something changed in her training, her body, her mindset, and she didn't just improve, she became untouchable. What shifted is the story nobody is telling, and why Poland's federation turned on her the moment she peaked is the part that should make everyone furious. Ewa Swoboda was born in 1997 in Poland, a country with a rich tradition in sprinting, but one that hadn't seen a female global short sprint medalist in decades. Growing up, Swoboda wasn't the obvious choice to become Poland's fastest woman. She was just another young athlete with potential in a sport dominated by powerhouse nations like Great Britain, Germany, and the Netherlands. What set Swoboda apart from the beginning was her relationship with her coach. At just 11 years old, she began working with a mentor who would shape every aspect of her training for the next 17 years. This wasn't just about running technique or strength training. This partnership was about building a sprinter's mindset, understanding the psychological pressure of elite competition, and developing the kind of consistency that separates good athletes from champions. The early years weren't glamorous. Swoboda trained in Polish facilities that couldn't compete with the high-tech centers in Western Europe. She competed against athletes with better funding, better equipment, and more support systems. But what she had was something money couldn't buy: a coach who understood her completely and a work ethic that refused to accept limitations. By her teenage years, Swoboda was already making waves on the junior circuit. She captured the world under-20 indoor record at 60 meters, posting 7.07 seconds when she was just 18 years old. The Polish athletics community took notice, but internationally she was still largely unknown. European sprinting was dominated by established stars like Daphne Schippers from the Netherlands and Britain's Asha Philip. But Swoboda's breakthrough was coming. In 2019, competing at the European Indoor Championships in Glasgow, she found herself in the final of the 60 meters alongside some of Europe's biggest names. The race that followed would change everything. Standing in lane 6, Swoboda exploded from the blocks with a start that caught everyone off guard, while Daphne Schippers, the defending champion and heavy favorite, struggled to find her rhythm. Swoboda powered down the straight with perfect technique and unwavering confidence. When she crossed the line in 7.09 seconds, the emotion overwhelmed her immediately. The victory celebration became an instant internet sensation. Video of Swoboda breaking down in tears, covering her face with her hands before being wrapped in the Polish flag, went viral across social media platforms. But this wasn't just emotional release from winning her first major senior title. This was 17 years of work, sacrifice, and belief finally paying off in the most dramatic way possible. What made that performance even more remarkable was the context. The European Indoor Championships in Glasgow represented everything Swoboda had been building toward. She had come close to major medals before, finishing third at previous championships, but always seemed to fall just short when it mattered most. The pressure of competing for Poland, a nation passionate about track and field success, weighed heavily on her shoulders. The race itself told the story of Swoboda's development as a world-class sprinter. Her start was technically perfect, generating the kind of explosive power that can only come from years of specialized training. Through the middle phase of the race, she maintained her form while others around her began to tighten up under pressure. And in the final 20 meters, where championships are won and lost, Swoboda showed the kind of mental toughness that separates champions from everyone else. Following her Glasgow triumph, Swoboda's confidence soared. She began consistently running times in the low 7.1 second range, establishing herself as one of Europe's most reliable sprinters. Her technique became more refined, her race tactics more sophisticated, and her ability to perform under pressure more evident with each competition. The Polish Athletics Federation recognized they had something special. Swoboda became the face of Polish sprinting, appearing at major championships and Diamond League meetings across Europe. Her success inspired a new generation of Polish sprinters and brought renewed attention to the country's athletics programs. But Swoboda's biggest moment was still ahead. In 2024, the World Indoor Championships returned to Scotland for the first time in years, hosted in the familiar arena in Glasgow. For Swoboda, this represented the perfect opportunity opportunity to achieve something truly historic in front of a global crowd. The atmosphere inside the arena was electric as sprinting fans packed the stands, many tracking Swoboda's incredible return and form. The pressure was immense. World championships can either elevate an athlete to legendary status or crush them under the weight of expectations. For Swoboda, there was no middle ground. As she settled into the blocks for the 60-meter semifinal, the entire arena seemed to hold its breath. When the starting gun fired, Swoboda delivered the race of her life. Her start was devastating, creating separation from the field within the first 10 meters. Her acceleration phase was smooth and powerful, while her competitors struggled to match her pace. But it was in the final third of the race where Swoboda truly announced herself as Poland's absolute sprint queen. While others began to decelerate, she maintained her speed with the kind of technical precision that only comes from perfect preparation. When she crossed the finish line, the clock showed 6.98 seconds, a new Polish indoor record that sent the viewing crowd into absolute hysteria. The emotional scenes that followed became some of the most memorable in recent global athletics history. Swoboda collapsed to the track, overwhelmed by the magnitude of her achievement. Her parents, watching from the stands, were in tears as their daughter achieved what many thought impossible for a Polish sprinter. The entire arena erupted in celebration as Swoboda was draped in the Polish flag, her national record making her an instant global hero. In her post-race interviews, barely able to speak through her emotions, Swoboda credited her longtime coach and the incredible atmosphere created by the massive crowds. She spoke about sleeping well the night before the race, feeling relaxed and confident despite the enormous pressure. The 17-year partnership with her coach had prepared her for exactly this moment. The blistering record represented more than just a fast time. It proved that with the right approach, dedication, and belief, athletes from smaller athletics nations could compete with and defeat the world's best. Swoboda's success became a source of national pride and inspiration for young Polish athletes who saw that dreams of sprinting dominance were actually achievable. However, success at the highest level of athletics brings its own challenges. Despite being Poland's fastest woman and the country's most successful sprinter, Swoboda recently found herself at the center of a controversial selection decision that shocked the athletics world. In April 2026, the Polish Athletics Association announced the team for the World Athletics Relays in Botswana, a crucial qualifying event for the following year's World Championships in Beijing. Despite being Poland's fastest sprinter and a national record holder, Ewa Swoboda was not included in the squad. The decision sent shockwaves through Polish athletics and raised serious questions about the selection process. Sebastian Chamara, president of the Polish Athletics Association, defended the choices by emphasizing the importance of the Botswana competition as a qualifying event. However, leaving out Poland's fastest woman seemed impossible to justify to fans and athletics observers. For Swoboda, being left off the world relay team is a significant setback. At 28, combining seasoned speed with mature race intelligence, she's in her prime. Missing these competitions costs valuable ranking points and preparation opportunities. Despite this, Swoboda's legacy remains secure. Her blazing 6.98 seconds stands as testimony to years of dedication and the perfect execution of a championship race. The emotional scenes in Glasgow will be remembered as a defining moment in recent athletics.